Welcome back, Tribe. I have an interesting perspective here on why I stopped being a digital nomad by Adam Carlson. So let's see the negative aspects of this kind of lifestyle, because, everybody on the internet makes it seem like it's the next greatest thing you can do. So let's see some truth.
Look like a dream. You can live in any amazing country that you want, work a few hours here or there, maybe even by the beach, explore amazing places and cultures, and then move on to a new country whenever you want. My girlfriend Sally and I did just that for over a year. So why did we stop and move back home to Copenhagen in Denmark? Let's talk about it. So we actually kind of stumbled into being digital nomads. Before going nomadic, I started doing freelance photo and video gigs, and Sally, my girlfriend, was doing freelance social media marketing jobs. And well, we both did this as kind of side hustles alongside our studies and our real jobs. But we were kind of reaching a point where we realized that working these 9-to-5s that we were studying for just wasn't for us. We wanted to go all in with our businesses and just have more, freedom in our lives and not be stuck working 9-to-5 for someone else. And we kind of wanted that to happen as soon as possible. But we weren't making enough money at the time to go full time while still living in Denmark, because Denmark is one of the countries that has the highest cost of living in the world. So my genius idea was that we could just go traveling and kind of leverage that we were getting paid in a strong currency. Most of our clients are from Denmark, so would pay in Danish kroner, and so that's just what we did. And voila, I guess we were now digital nomads. And at first we had kind of planned to do this for around 6 months, so we had rented out our apartment for 6 months, but we actually ended up doing it for, I think, 18 months. Before now moving back home to Copenhagen, where we are right now. So, obviously we liked being digital nomads as we kind of extended our original plan with an extra year. But if it's so amazing being digital nomads, why not just continue that lifestyle? I think being a digital nomad is kind of a very particular lifestyle, and I guess every type of lifestyle has its pros and cons. And for us, some of the pros were that we would be able to live comfortably for a lot less than we would be able to here in Denmark. We were able to travel a lot. So usually we would stay in kind of one place for a long time, maybe a month or a few months. So we could have some kind of a home base in the area and then kind of travel from there and be staying in a place that had decent Wi-Fi and good basic amenities, I guess. And over these 18 months, we've just made some insane memories that we're just gonna keep with us forever. Then some of the cons for us, though, is obviously not seeing our family and friends. And that's probably the biggest con of this lifestyle, that you're oftentimes we're on the other side of the world. So we would go long periods of time without seeing our family, our friends. We would miss big dates, birthdays, weddings, you name it. And that sucks. It's also actually just a lot of work. We spent so much time kind of doing research on places, booking flights, booking hotels, just travel planning, and the traveling itself, getting from one place to another, getting settled, learning where everything is in this new place. It's just it takes a long time, and it also can be quite taxing, I guess. You have to start over all the time you get to a new place, a new location. It can also be quite hard to actually maintain good routines. Of course, it's always a choice, I guess, but it's a lot easier for us to keep good habits and routines if we're in an environment that's kind of set up for us to do just that. I also think that we got, towards the end at least, a little bit experience numb, if you can call it that. Because we were doing so many amazing things and seeing incredible places all the time, it would just become the norm. We wouldn't be that amazed when we would go to an incredible waterfall or stay in an incredible villa or something, because now this was just the norm for us. And I don't...
Yeah, that numbing effect is real. Too much of a good thing is not a good thing at all. Unfortunately, even the guy that skydives, off his 1,000th skydive, that guy could fall half asleep and still jump out of the plane, and it's routine, and his adrenaline doesn't spike like it does for the person he's about to skydive with for the first time. Traveling is very much the same if you overdo it. There's actually a study that came out and they were figuring out what's the optimal time to travel. I believe it's 8 days. 8 days is where you peak on all your endorphins. And then after the 8 days, everything starts stabilizing again and you come back down to baseline. So anything longer than 8 days is where you start to get a bit homesick. Everything becomes normalized, like he's saying. That wondrous feeling of traveling and being in a new place with new people, all that out the window after 8 days. We acclimate really quickly to new environments. So ideally, to make this a long-term thing, you would want to have a home base somewhere to keep your roots and your foundation, right? That's your safe place you go to reset to, your castle. And then you travel 8 days at a time. Come back, reset, travel another 8 days at a time, come back, reset, right? And then you're always kind of optimally peaking as you're traveling. Because I noticed when I went to Dubai, man, same thing. That I was there for a little over 3 weeks. After the first week or so, like the wonderment and amazement kind of went away. I'm like, oh yeah, this is normal now. It's clean everywhere. It's safe everywhere. It's luxurious everywhere. Oh wow, the view is sick. I can see the most insane things. Wow, look at that infinity pool. Good looking people overlooking the Dubai marina. Excellent. Wow, the first day, amazing. Took videos of everything. By the third week, I'm like, whatever, dude. Oh yeah, I gotta go work out. Gotta go do this. Gotta go get my ID done, blah, blah, blah. You know, it loses its flair. And it is what it is. That's the human experience. I don't think I could do digital nomad stuff on a permanent basis. This is why I think my idea of, home basing in Romania for most of the year and then just traveling sporadically here and there, but making sure I have roots planted is a good way to make this manageable long-term. Because I can tell you 3 weeks in Dubai, I was homesick already. I was over the desert, over the heat, over that apartment I was in, as nice as it was, being in a high rise in a luxurious part of town where I could walk to everywhere and, opulence surrounded by it. Doesn't matter. It's just, I need my home base to reset. And then now that I've been here, the first few days I came back, that same high, the natural endorphin rush you get from like, oh my God, the leaves are yellow. Everything is so colorful. Fall colors, full effects. Man, it's 70 degrees like all day. It feels perfect. And, I'm settling back into the routine. I'm like, okay, it's starting to slow down again. The chemicals are coming down. Your baseline's stable now. And then you work through this, grind a little bit. And in another month, maybe you're ready to go and travel again. But you got to be a rare, special type of individual to like being on the move all the time. The stuff he said earlier about like getting into a routine is difficult when you're constantly on the move. It's a pain in the ass, man. Yeah, it's a choice at the end of the day, but you're going to lose days, going to get thrown off your routine traveling all the time. Like what he was saying, they're staying in a place for a month or so at a time and then going into another spot and another spot. I did that when I first came to Romania. I had an Airbnb for like 2 weeks. Boom, next Airbnb, 2 weeks. Boom, moved into another spot. It's a hassle, dude. Sure, it's cool. I went, got a gym membership fast as I can, started running every morning, was like energized, get after it, everything's cool. But during those periods of moving and resettling, packing, unpacking, it just makes everything that much more difficult, and it shouldn't be. I think that 8-day thing is really ideal. And after I read that, it's just started making sense in my brain. You're going to lose a day or two on jet lag depending on how far you travel. That's fine. So you get around a week, 7 days, 6 days where everything is like brand spanking new to your brain. You're intaking all the smells, all the sounds, all the visuals, the waterfalls, the mountains, the clouds, the people, the culture, everything you're hearing, the food, it's all so new. And about 7 days is perfect, man, for you to be in that like wanderlust. After that, you get sick of everything. So it's like they say, man, everything in moderation. I'm fully on board with it. I don't think the digital nomad lifestyle is something you do permanently. I think this is a cool temporary experience to have in life. They managed to get it done for, what did he say, 18 months? I think it's beautiful. That's an incredible life story they have, and he'll never forget that experience, which is what really matters, the experience and the memories and the time spent with his woman, bar none. They'll both tell you 100% worth doing it. But on a permanent basis, I don't think I could do it either.
I don't like that very much. I like, kind of being amazed when arriving to a new place.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I can say if being a digital nomad is good or bad. For us now, it's just the time for the next phase. So we loved the time we were spent as being digital nomads, but now we're also really ready to move on and to this next chapter or phase where we are staying here in Copenhagen, having this as our real home base, close to our friends and family, and then being able to travel as much as possible from here. Because in the end, I think for us, what's most important is that freedom to choose how we live our lives. So is it really worth becoming a digital nomad? And I think that's a very personal question that only you can answer, but you will never know if you don't try it. Being a digital nomad is probably not as glamorous as it can seem when looking around online, but I think we went into it with pretty realistic expectations, just kind of knowing what we wanted to get out of it and what we wanted to do, which is why I think we were not like underwhelmed, and I think we kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into, and we also did a lot of research beforehand and just to figure out like what we could expect, I guess, because honestly most days we would just be sitting at home in front of our computer working. But at the same time, if we wanted to, we could go on an early morning ride to the nearest waterfall or a beach before coming back and starting our workday. We could go out eating every day, which is not something we do here in Denmark because it's just too expensive. And we would like quite often take a full day off or several days off and just go on some really epic adventure. And I think that's the part that has really made it worth it for us, is all the adventures and everything we have experienced while being digital nomads. So how about you? Could you ever see yourself becoming a digital nomad? Let me know down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.
Yeah, no better feeling than starting work on your time. And I could only imagine, probably when I go visit the Philippines, I can just go bust out a early morning run on the beach, go to some crazy lagoon, hike in the tropical forest, see some amazing animals, some views, and then boom, you're just back to working on the computer. Man, that's great. Yeah, not permanent though. And this is the first digital nomad I've seen on YouTube that isn't selling the lifestyle. Honestly, I just think the better plan is to work from home and travel regularly for short periods of time, 100%. That's the ideal setup. Not having a place you call home is kind of stressful. Being on the move with a luggage of clothes and your gear to record and whatever and work on, like your laptop, sounds very attractive until you have to grind that way daily. And then you miss like your closet with clothes that you want to wear something different. You miss the fact that you can't even go into your own kitchen and find your coffee maker to make yourself some coffee. Cooking food from home, yeah, you don't have your pan and whatever else. Like you're just at the mercy of the places you're staying at. And oftentimes they're not fully stocked like your own home would be with your favorite X, Y, and Z, right? So you tend to go eat out, which fortunately is cheap as hell. Like here in Romania, personally, I could eat out every single day. No problem. Cooking for myself is an option here. And luckily I have found some very healthy places that I could just order from. And all the time I do order simple stuff, meat, potatoes, you know. But in America, no way. Eating out every single day, not possible. Too damn expensive. Dubai, depends where you go. They have some cheap places you could technically, but some of the places that they're in, like Bali or wherever these amazing views are, yeah, you're eating for a couple of bucks. That's just one meal. So every day is like $5 in food, man. That's crazy. And that's eating out. And a lot of these places that you tend to stay in, it makes more sense to just eat out than it does to cook your own meal, because shopping for groceries is probably going to be just as expensive. And then the time you're wasting cooking your food. Yeah. And then here's an interesting part of that is I've been an expat since 2015. And the one huge thing that is never talked about on social media or YouTube is the never-ending paperwork. If you're only making short trips to different countries, then it won't be an issue. But once you start to settle 3 months, 6 months or longer, you have to figure out visas, residencies, paperwork, taxes. It's a lot to manage. Yeah. My process is unique because I am a Romanian citizen. I have dual citizenship. So coming back to the country and getting my paperwork started, not having to worry about like going back and forth between here and America and, you know, getting everything in order. Once I land here, I can stay here forever. I was born here. To have to go through all that paperwork in the government, I had help with my uncle that made it way easier. And I speak Romanian, although I consider it personally broken. Everybody tells me it's fine. I could only imagine what a nightmare it would be to having to find my way through the system and get everything going. But I had help, knew where to go right away, what to do. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed with the Romanian government because when I went to get the passport issued, the next day, after getting the picture done, the next day it had arrived completed. Never in my life. In America, it takes months. In Romania, the next day, I have my passport fully issued. Mind blown. So everything moves fast. UAE, same scenario, man. The government runs smooth. I had appointments to get things done at, for example, 11:30. I would arrive an hour early just in case I got lost, just in case there was traffic. And the moment I got signed in, my ticket was called. There was no waiting the hour. They were ready for me an hour early. Everything was absolutely to the point. The bureaucracy, the red tape, the inefficiency in the American government is mind-blowing to see when you travel overseas. And I know some Romanians aren't going to agree, and they'll bring up certain aspects of, say, the government here, because Eastern Europeans like to self-loathe and complain about absolutely everything. It's a feature, not a bug, of being Eastern European. We have it pretty good compared to some other first world countries that are absolutely bogged down in bureaucracy. Sure, things may work better in America, but it takes forever. You know, that difference between like 1990s Romania versus 1990s America was night and day. You absolutely were going to give up a lot if you wanted to come to a country like Romania in the 90s post-communism. To travel between the countries now, you really cannot tell the difference. I'm sorry, but if you come here with a Western salary, there is no amenities you're going to be missing. I keep telling you guys, if anything, your quality of life improves. You'll be eating better food. The roads are just as fine. The shelves are stocked with all the latest and greatest. There are hypermarkets, supermarkets. There's nothing missing. There's not a single thing you can't order. You like to do your Amazon shopping and have stuff delivered to your house? Congratulations. It exists here too by another name. They do the same thing. Next day delivery. Food, I can literally order right now like Uber Eats. It's much cheaper. I can use Uber and get around for the equivalent of $2 to $3 all over the city, and they will come here within 60 seconds. It's that fast. It's great, man. There's not much difference anymore. If anything, it's starting to pull away the rest of the world in terms of like violence, homelessness, income inequality, etc. All these things that are actually a knock on America is not as bad in the rest of the world. I mean, we all see it with the passport bro stuff, the digital nomad lifestyle, the expat lifestyle. They're living in places with infinity pools, with the beachside views, eating out multiple times a day, getting to experience the country, doing things you couldn't afford to in America, like hiking or going on helicopters, skydiving, safari tours, you name it. All these experiences that are so unique that cost a ton of money in America, they're doing it. It's affordable, and they're living, not surviving. Pennies on the dollar. I mean, the boys in Thailand will tell you what I spend in a day. There's so many videos of guys showing like what they spend in a day, what it costs to rent out this villa, and it'll be like $500 for the entire month. I mean, that's insane, dude. That's wild. That's like renting a room in America somewhere outside the periphery of a city. Like you're renting somebody's room in their house for $500-600. I actually don't know if those are even still the prices. When I was going to school in LA, it was $900 to rent a room. $900, by the way, close to UCLA, $900 to rent a room with someone in the room. So we had a curtain separating us, $900. It was $1,800 for one room in a 2-bedroom apartment. Of course, those were LA prices, so that's insane. But that was back in what, 2012, 2013-ish? I don't even know what it costs to rent a room anymore in America. I know the median rent for an apartment is $2,000. So $2,000, you could live very well in most of the world. Are some of you, I'm curious in the comments, who here still rents a room from somebody, and what are you paying and where are you living? I'm curious what the going rates are. And yeah, digital nomad lifestyle. I think it's an experience everybody should have, if you can. We'll see you on the next one. Hey everyone, if you have a minute, please head over to legionofmen.store and grab yourself some cool merch as well. We have a bunch of limited edition designs, brand new stuff on the way, and all the proceeds go to supporting the channel. We don't want to be sponsored by corporations where we have to submit videos for review, have our speech impeded, or push any products that we don't use. So thank you so much to everybody that goes into the shop. Again, it's legionofmen.store. I'll put it up here for you guys. First time customers get a 10% off, and we have a bunch of great designs by artists from the community that watch the channel and support. They get proceeds as well, a percentage of everything that gets sold. So community funded through and through. And it's no synthetic fibers on any on our products. We're using cotton only, of course. I got your back from all those chemicals from synthetic fibers. Again, appreciate you guys.